It's just that light, coolness, there's a blue sky, there's lots of sunshine, but the sunshine is not hot enough to burn you. So it's one of the beautiful seasons, and it was not only beautiful here, apparently it was beautiful even in ancient India. And so in the Rig Veda, which is like a 10,000-year-old text and oral tradition, the Rig Veda, the sages sing, Jivem Shardha Shatam, Pashyem Shardha Shatam, Buddhem Shardha Shatam, Rohem Shardha Shatam. So may I live for 100 years. Why? So that I can enjoy the beauty of the fall season. May my eyes function perfectly with Ayurveda, so I can see the beauty of Ayurveda, the fall season. Sharadaha Shatam. May I live 100 years. May I live 100 years so that I can, with my intellect, interact with this beautiful fall season. And then, Rohem Shardaha Shatam, may I prosper through these 100 years by living 100 autumns. So there was this deep love of the autumn season. I also feel that because winter is around, summer is changing, there is some deep significance to this season. Also, according to Ayurveda understanding of seasons and larger climatic changes, we stay 6 months of the year in what is known as Udana Kala, where the nature seems to deplete us. It begins in late winter, then through spring and summer, so we feel quite exhausted and tired. But in this autumn season, we have now gone to Visarga Kala, which means now the nature is becoming like charitable. She will soon donate to us more health, and it will reach its peak very much in the following. It has begun now, and it will reach its peak in Sharad season now, then early winter and late winter. This is the healthy time, correction. And then spring, summer and late summer or Varsha Ritu is the poor health time. So joy behold, we are in the better time, nature-wise. But still, there is a slight precaution we have to take if some of us have Pitta Dosha. Any of you? More dominant. Also for everyone, because each one of us has Vata, Pitta and Kapha, or moving energy, transforming metabolic heating energy, and structural comforting energy like Kapha. So this is the season to watch out for Pitta. So I want to share from a lifestyle perspective, this is not a time to go to the beach and sunbathe. This will disturb your skin, your rasa, your rakta, your blood and pitta very much. This is not a time to sit in the sauna or take very, very hot showers. In fact, even the showers, even if it's a little nippy in the air, should be on the warm side, not on the very hot side. Otherwise, you will feel depleted and tired after the shower. Has anybody felt that? Yes. And this is also not the time to drink very hot water, even if you are Vata Dosha dominant, even if you have low back pain, even if you have a cough and cold. I would say reduce the very hot temperature of water to warm, and if possible, if you have good digestion, you can even have room temperature water. In Ayurveda, we previously boil the water and bring it to room temperature. That's the way we drink water. Every morning we boil our water, or we use a kettle to boil the water and then bring it to a temperature which is room temperature. So do not overheat yourself. Do not expose yourself to direct sunlight for long hours, and definitely do not indulge yourself with heating comforts and luxuries. Sometimes in the Ayurveda tradition, we talk so much about hot water that people want to do it around the year. Right? But this is a contradiction. This is a contraindication. Another thing is that you have to keep the temperature of the food hot, but it should not be too hot either. We never eat cold food as such, unless it's cold like a fruit. Okay? Unless it's cool to begin with. But otherwise, food cooked should be eaten, but not at burning hot temperature. In general, never. So, we have to protect ourselves from Pitta. And some water sports, of course, covered or not under direct sun is fine. And do not overstrain yourself. You know, when Pitta is high in the macrocosm, it just starts increasing for no reason inside you. How many of you Pitta dominant people have noticed a flare up of Pitta? Heat, rashes, mouth sores, herpes breakout, burning skin rashes, anyone? Out of the blue, yes, for no reason. Well, there is a very good reason. Pitta everywhere has increased. You cannot be left out of it. So we will be talking about Pitta balancing diet, and we will also be teaching you Pitta balancing foods. So with this, I will like to invite you, Dr. Yeola, to talk about the foods.
Yes. Dhanyavad. Shunya ji, thank you for introducing me in front of this learned audience. Because I am saying you a learned audience because when Shunya ji asked that how many of you having Pitta Prakruti, so I think there are 10 to 15 people, they raised their hand. So I am saying that you are learned in terms of Ayurveda because you know the term what is Pitta. And as you know the Pitta, you might be knowing the qualities of Pitta also. As she mentioned, that Pitta is always related with the hot tendencies. Having a hot, you can say, quality. It is sharp in nature. It has other qualities also. I am not going in detail with the qualities of the Pitta. I am coming back to the season that this is a fall or Sharad Ritu. And in Varsha, the previous Ritu, the Pitta accumulation, it takes place in our body. And this is the season where Pitta gets aggravated. So if we want to balance the Pitta, so this is the best time. If we do not balance now, then there are possibilities that our body may react it in different way. There are chances of getting some disease elements, ill effects related to the Pitta or hot quality. So what is recommended in Ayurveda and what is not recommended in this particular season. So we will go in detail with this related to our food. And food, as she mentioned, it is my favorite topic. You know that there are certain things that can be adjusted. If somebody is moving in a summer season out, on a street, if he comes back, that can be adjusted by taking some cold milk, or you can say cold potency drugs. But if somebody is continuing with wrong food habits, which are contraindicated as per the season, which are contraindicated as per the Prakruti, the temperament of the body, then there are some problems related with the health. There are chances of imbalance of dosha. So, if we go through the causes of Pitta vitiation, that Katu means the pungent, Amla, sour, Lavana, salty foods, Ushna quality means hot potency in the food material, Tikshna, the sharp quality is there, alcoholic beverages, then fasting is not indicated particularly in this season because fasting that aggravates the Pitta dosha. Then other qualities related to the mind like fire, anger, sexual indulgence, natural causes like summer season, mid part of the day, mid part of the night, middle age, and during digestion. These are the few things where the Pitta gets aggravated. So if we know these particular basic things, then it is possible for us to change or modify our diet as per the season which is indicated in Sharad Ritu. So foods having or food products having sweet, madhur ras, bitter, that is tikta ras, and astringent, means kashaya ras, those are preferable because naturally these three tastes are opposite to the pitta dosha.
Sweet, bitter, and astringent. These are a preferred taste.
These are the preferred taste. So you have to prefer such a things related to your food, related to your, you can say the fruits also. You can taste more food products or more fruits of this taste. The food products which are easy to digest are recommended in this season. The food products which are having the cold properties are recommended in this season because these are pitta pacifying drugs or pitta pacifying, you can say, qualities.
Cold properties as in milk, as in sweet butter, as in fruits, versus alcohol, versus chilies, ginger, right?
So there are some food substances. I will go in detail about the food substances. The rice. Rice is having a pitta pacifying quality, and that can be taken with the milk along with some raisins in that to pacify the pitta, which is naturally aggravated in this particular season. So in Sharad Ritu, the rice preparations are welcome, you can say.
Like the rice pudding
Yeah.
in milk with raisins.
You can use the rice with green gram, you can say dal, along with that, because green gram is also having a pitta pacifying quality. You can prepare some food products related to the wheat. You can prepare few food products or food substances related to the barley. In this particular season, we can take the sugar candy or sugar little bit more in quantity because it is sweet and it's having the cold property also. So that can be useful for pitta pacifying.
We are
In
talking
our
about
body.
raw organic cane sugar. So in this season, sugar, we're not saying you have to eat it if you're diabetic or you're not having it for some reason. But if any season, this is a preferred season because we already mentioned sweet is preferable.
So if you go through the vegetables at that time, the pumpkins, you can prepare some food substances related to the pumpkins because pumpkin is a nourishing as well as it gives or it reduces the pitta in our body. It has a cold potency also. Then pumpkin seeds, white gourd or the bitter gourd. These are the few vegetables which you can prefer in this particular season. You can use the sweet potato. You know that the sweet potato is very much useful. You can prepare the sweet potato. You can the food substances prepared from the sweet potato. They are very much useful because that contains the proteins, that contains the sweet taste also, which is having against the pitta dosha, against the qualities of the pitta dosha. Then cucumber, asparagus, amaranthus, these are the few things which you can prefer. You can prefer the cabbage, but not in a large quantity, you can say. You can prefer sweet apples, you can prefer sweet mango. You can prepare some, you can say, food substances with the sweet mango along with putting some sugar in that.
Mango chutney.
Or you can say, yeah, mango chutney. Or you can take this with the rice also, the sweet mango with rice, with some coconut. Then butter, ghee, jaggery, fenugreek, pomegranate, raisins. These are the few, you can say, allied food products which you can put while preparing your food substances. That will change the quality. That will, you can say, helpful to give your nourishment as well as the pitta pacification in your body.
For example, pomegranate juice can be introduced on a daily basis for these next 2 months, mid-September to mid-November.
But while taking the pomegranate juice, it should not, as she was mentioning that, it should not be very much cold. It should not be refrigerated. If you want to refrigerate, when you want to drink it, you just take it out for half an hour before, and after that, at normal temperature, you can use that. That is advisable. The other things are saffron you can use, the rose gulkan, which is the best, you can say, a preferable thing
Which
in
we are
this particular season.
And we
Yeah,
are
which
teaching.
we are going to see how to prepare this particular recipe. This rose gulkan, it can be mixed with some other substances which are having the pitta pacification quality. So that is preferable. And a particular, in this season, there are chances of some rashes, there are chances of some burning sensation in the chest, there are chances of some burning sensation all over the skin or in the eyes also, dryness of the nose. So in this particular condition, this gulkand or rose jam, rose gulkand is very much useful. Then there are some herbs which are very much useful, are chandana, sandalwood, avla, then ushira, shatavari. You can see the aloe vera, which is, the plant is here. So these type of herbs are very much useful in this particular season. One important, you can say, the message of Ayurveda is that sometimes we don't follow this message, and there are many of the diseases which are due to this particular thing, that whenever you feel hungry, at that time take the food. If you don't feel hungry, don't eat the food. This is a simple, but you can say most of the people, they don't follow this. And this is the, after doing the study, while doing the Ph.D, this is the most important cause I found in most of the students, that they don't feel hungry, but something is out as a fashion or as a fad, they eat the things. So this should be avoided in this particular season. Then consuming cool milk with a spoon of ghee at before bedtime, that is also useful. So this is a list what is advocated, what you can do in this particular season.
And when we say cool milk, we don't mean refrigerated cold milk. We mean boiled milk that has been cooled now
To normal
maybe
temperature.
To normal temperature. Maybe it's near the kitchen window also, where it can catch some moonlight. So it's just normal, cooled milk.
So after giving a brief description, you may get some idea what should be avoided. So the list, the first thing in that is what should be avoided. Avoid heavy food, avoid fried food, a deeply fried food which is very much available nowadays,
Dr.
abundantly.
Gunvant, can I tell you a story? Yesterday it was raining. So we Indians eat bhaji or pakodi.
Yes.
So Sanjay and I wanted to eat pakodi, but only our conviction to Ayurveda made us say we can't eat that heavy food. But otherwise the Indian in us wanted to eat those fried fritters. But we have to avoid in this season. With chai we have to do. Not possible in this season.
Not possible. It is not advocated. And if you follow such a type of things, you can be healthy, like these two. Yeah.
We are trying. It took a lot to not eat.
I mean, the healthy, this health is always related with the not only with the physical thing. It should be related with the, as we were discussing about the mental health, because this food nourishes the mind also, along with the spiritual health. That is also important, the adhyatma. If we are the Raja and Tama is less, Sattva is focused mainly, that is the spiritual health. And this food, the heavy food, fried food, that causes or increases the Raja and Tama. And that should be avoided in this particular season. The spicy, sour food, that is avoided, that should be avoided.
Like even yogurt and buttermilk
Yes,
for
yeah.
the Indians here, we are so used to our yogurt every day. But this season it is very disturbing.
Then there are few things like orange, then sour grapes, lemon, pineapple, then sesame seeds, mustard seeds, cloves. All these items you can use it for a taste, but in a very low quantity. That should not be disturbing your pitta. That should not be disturbing your alimentary tract. Or that should not be disturbing your digestive tract. So this care you can take while adding the spices in your food. So this is related to the food, what you should do, what you should not do. Related to the fall season, Sharad Ritu.
So maybe Dr. Gunvant, for better spices they can just use cumin, fennel,
Yes.
coriander.
Yeah,
And
coriander is a good one.
Coriander is good.
Fennel is
Fennel is good. And instead of regular salt, use rock salt or sendav namak. And add less, don't add more.
When preparing Brahmi in powdered form, can you
Let's
just-
come back to question and answer, then we'll talk about Brahmi. Still talking food.
Okay.
Done?
yeah.
Oh, I wanted to know combining milk with Brahmi and,
Oh, okay, so it's a food question.
yeah, it's kind of a food thing.
Okay.
So do you recommend combining Brahmi churna with milk and heating and then cooling down in the season?
See, Brahmi you cannot heat. You should, the churna, or you can say the juice of the Brahmi, it is always preferable if you take a juice of the Brahmi.
Right.
If it is not possible, then you can take the powder in the powder form, but you cannot boil it. It is not advisable.
Okay.
Because in Ayurveda there are certain herbs, they are having some active ingredients, and if you boil them, then they may lose their active principles.
And cooking them with ghee is not for eating but for nasya.
Yeah.
That's a different combination.
So if you wanted to take it with milk, you would just room temperature with the Brahmi?
Yes.
What about chocolate?
What about
Chocolate.
chocolate? You can take the sugar candy, but not the Cadbury products. Means where the chocolate is more.
The cocoa is not
Cocoa is not.
recommended.
Is not good?
Not in this
Not
season.
in this season.
Not in this
2
season.
months.
But it seems to have a very interesting effect on my body whatever the season is, I notice that it changes my bowel movements and, just how my body is. So I was wondering if chocolate is generally harmonious with our system.
Mhm. If that contains sugar more only, that is okay. But if you are taking with the cocoa or like that, you can say the Cadbury part is more in that. So that is not advisable because that aggravates the Pitta Dosha.
In your case, we cannot really comment without evaluation of your body and situation. Question answer?
Yeah, we can start.
Any questions and answers? Clear?
What kind of milk do you recommend? You know how there's the 1%, 2% fat-free or whole
We recommend whole milk
milk?
because all the 1%, 2% goes through a lot of processing. So if you want to dilute, the way we dilute it is add water. Or we may even add 4 times water. And then cook it for a long time till the water evaporates and the milk becomes highly light by cooking. So that's our preference rather than buying artificially reduced fat.
Do you offer alternatives if you don't drink milk or don't like milk?
Don't drink it.
Because it seems to be a part of Ayurveda.
There are many good things in Ayurveda. If you don't like milk, then don't drink it. Ayurveda also has the rule that don't eat what you don't like. Will you believe? Because it's psychosomatic medicine. So Ayurveda says that if you've rejected something mentally, then it will not help you physically.
But one more thing I meant to mention here, that if you try it again after listening all this, you can say, if your mind can be changed while drinking, then it is acceptable for you also. Your body may accept it.
He's a very convincing doctor. He doesn't want you to lose the benefits of cow milk or goat milk.
Yeah, no, but how does that fit in with people who don't want to do dairy? I'm just curious because I'll take it if it's prasad, but otherwise I don't want it.
See, the thing is that Ayurveda finds dairy as a useful substance. But suppose somebody doesn't want to do dairy for their religious, scientific, philosophical beliefs, that doesn't mean that there is not a world of other valuable ingredients. So it is not a question worth discussing further. Because we have a bouquet of things that are useful. If your belief system prevents you from taking them, then that's that. If somebody else's belief system allows them to consume it, then we can tell them what are the benefits. So it's a matter of your personal choice, and it really ends at that. Yeah.
So what would be?
But
the
it doesn't mean
substitute?
that we cannot help you in any other way because you don't drink milk. There are many other things. So yes.
What would be the substitute for milk?
What do you
Some
think can be
any
the
warm drink
substitute?
There is
you
milk.
want to have in winter?
Like what?
Like almond milk or soy
Almond, yeah.
Just
every
is there
milk.
any alternative?
Okay.
That's all.
So my answer for that is that almond is a seed, right? Cow milk is something that comes from the mammary gland of a mammal. So they are not substitutes. They just are lookalikes. So let's not call almond milk milk. Okay? That is coming from a mammary gland. So there's a difference. So in milk we can only substitute with goat milk, buffalo milk, elephant milk, human milk. But we cannot take milk and compare it to almond or rice. It's only a white substance.
There is a difference, however, between a philosophical belief about milk and poor digestive fire, where if one is not drinking milk due to lactose intolerance, that's a different condition.
Yeah, that's a different condition. At that time you can say that it's related to the vikruti, means pathological condition is there. So at that time, if your body is not okay with the milk, you can avoid that. But it's only related to your mind, you can say the belief that my body may act differently if I take the milk or like that. Just have a try, and if it's giving a good effect, there is no, you can say, any harm effect or you can say bad effect, let us continue.
We also do not recommend dairy during phlegm, cough, cold. So, Ayurveda is very customized. And if people have lactose intolerance, then we give them different, recipes for milk, like adding spices. We teach spice milk here, and I believe the recipes on YouTube. So we add different spices to it. And we have many lactose intolerant students, wheat intolerant students who have now started consuming them because of the scientific recipes that we taught them. But if somebody has a belief system, then we let them respect that, because it's a belief system, and we don't want to really work, try to push it. We don't have to do that. Yeah.
Just curious, you mentioned several herbs, but I have no clue how to spell them.
Not a problem, you can listen to our video again. But the main one we wanted to teach was Brahmi, and we are teaching about aloe vera. But this you can grow. So.
When you say no yogurt in this season, does that include takra?
Sour takra we don't recommend.
Yeah.
Sweet takra,
Sweet takra is useful.
sweetish takra. If you have seen the takra based raita that our cook Manaswini makes, she even adds some raw candy to it. sweet. You've seen that? So it's a very modified kind of a sour. There's no sourness in that. And she adds cucumber to it and cooling things to it.
But buttermilk you can take, but in a less quantity, along with you can say she told you that you can add the sugar
Yeah.
in that.
Yes, Puna?
I know you talked about avoiding alcohol, caffeine, things that are stimulants. What about black tea that you put in chai?
Stimulant, yeah.
Yeah, it's a stimulant, and that increases the pitta, black tea.
That is why the way Indians drink tea, where they add lots of milk and sugar, is a better way than just black tea, where it becomes like a liqueur. That's very offensive to pitta.
Do you recommend doing all cooking in pure ghee, or how much?
So we recommend cooking in ghee. But we can also recommend cooking in mustard oil, for example, in winter. But in this season, it will be very heating. We can recommend coconut oil also, to an extent.
What olive oil?
What do you say about olive oil?
Olive oil is, you can say, it's a good if you go through the qualities of that. But for every season, we recommend to change the oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes
ghee
you
may be
can use
optimum.
ghee. Yeah, sometimes ghee can be used. Sometimes this sesame oil can be used. Sometimes coconut oil can be used. But not throughout the year you are using the olive oil. That is not recommended.
It is definitely more warming
Yeah.
than coconut oil and ghee. And between ghee and coconut oil, ghee is lighter than coconut oil. So ghee in small amounts. We have already prevented you from, we are already saying don't have fried foods. So it's just a little bit of ghee that you use to saute your vegetables or put in your lentils or something like that. Would be good enough.
What about essential fatty acid oil? You know, it's raw, refrigerated, like flaxseed oil or evening primrose oil.
So are you taking it like a nutritional supplement?
Yeah, like a supplement.
So primrose oil was not part of an Ayurvedic pharmacopoeia, so we would not be able to give you exact answer. And fatty acids oil is really just introducing fat drops into the system, right? So we don't, isn't that what it is? Fatty acids?
Yeah, essential fatty acids.
Yeah.
Like
So
omega-3s.
all of that gets taken care of when you take ghee.
One more thing I want to add that there are certain things which are coming new, and you cannot find the reference related to that in Ayurvedic text. But it is mentioned in Ayurvedic text that you have to go through the rasa, means how it tastes. You can go to the after digestion how it reacts to your body, and after that evaluation, then you can say whether it is vata aggravating or pitta aggravating or vata pacifying or pitta pacifying or kapha pacifying. Means you can then judge on the basic principles which are given in Ayurveda about the rasa, virya and vipaka. And by using those principles, you can make the judgment of that particular food substance or the food products, that how it reacts to your body. And by that you can judge the rasa, virya, vipaka and the qualities of those food products.
That's a very good point, because if you eat certain food, you introduce it and you're feeling the warmth on your tongue, for example, or in your stomach, or in your chest. That's, to make you understand the Sanskrit used here, what's your reaction? So if you feel that heat and warmth is going up, or your bowels are warmer when they come out, or your urine has become hotter, then you know that this may not be an optimum ingredient for this season, because what we don't want is pitta increasing. And to conclude this section, in October, the full moon in October is known as a special moon called Sharad Purnima. I think it's 18th of October, and it is the full moon of this season. And in the Ayurveda and the oral tradition, it is said that we should wait the whole year to expose our bodies to this moon. In fact, in some parts of India, people don't even sleep. They just stay awake under that moon, talking, chanting, singing, And that moon and its rays are considered so healing. And they say that if you expose yourself to that moonlight that night, the pitta will not get aggravated for the rest of the year, and you will be able to benefit from that tremendously. So it's free medicine.
The 18th, did you say?
October 18th.
October 18th.
Sorry, is that 18th going into 19th, or is it
Yeah,
17th?
18th night going into 19th.
18th
Yeah.
going into 19th.
And it is also said that overnight expose milk or milk pudding with sugar and overnight in that moon, and next morning eat that. It becomes like prasad or holy offering, and that food sits really well with you. So I have never been able to stay awake, whether I was a child or a grown up. I fall asleep, but I do spend few hours under the moon. Sometimes my students come and we wear white clothes, and we like it to be there. And so do benefit from it. In Ayurveda, anything can be a medicine. When moonlight, sunlight, fresh wind, herbs, and spices, and more importantly, an understanding of the season. So for those of you who were new here, there were some do's and don'ts that Dr. Yeola gave us. But if we just, as an experiment, follow them, we might feel actually better. All right? Thank you. Thank you, doctor. Occasionally, every season, we try to focus an herb. This is the herb I want to focus because it is Tikta Madhur.
Yes.
It is bitter and sweet, which is, as you know, bitter, sweet, and stringent are our preferred qualities. It is also cold in potency, Shita. So we like that. So it's a cooling herb, okay? So then you will realize that actually it is 3 dosha balancing. It's not just Pitta balancing. The only people who I would not recommend this is for pregnant women and for children under 5. But how many of you have eaten the gel inside here? Anybody? Yeah? Do you know how to peel it? You just pluck one leaf and you just start peeling one side. It's very easy to peel. You can even use a peeler. Okay? And then you just scoop this gel. I have a little gel. You eat it.
How much at a time?
Everything is coming. Okay. Did some research on it. So I tell you all the Ayurvedic benefits, but I was really wowed by some research done by a Western scientist. So you want to write that down? This little amount of gel I took, like half a teaspoon, has 75 essential nutrients, 12 vitamins, 20 minerals, 20 amino acids, of which includes 7 of the 8 essential ones for our muscles. And it's useful for cell renewal, and they also say it's a great immune enhancer, immunity system. So aloe vera is now being used for cancer also. Now aloe vera, which is known as Grita Kumari in Sanskrit, Grita Kumari. Grita is like ghee, Kumari is like a young female. So it has 2 very nice names, So it's a she herb. Okay, she's a girl here. This one. Look how healthy she is, because she lives in a kitchen with mantras and love. Okay, she may not hear our words, but she knows that we love her. And the best part about this herb is that when you take it, it starts regulating your bowel movements. So in Pitta dominant people, it may create a little looser bowels. But in this season, it's okay. You'll get a little virechna or purge also. So it has this cleansing action. So if you have long-term constipation, then maybe a tablespoon of this gel first thing in the morning would be a very good idea. Now in little infants, they've not even started solids, but have you seen them exert to have a bowel movement? And then, you know what we can do? Shall I tell you an oral tip? You just take this gel, you warm it a little bit like in a little pan, and you add a little hing powder, asafoetida spice in it. And then you just rub that around their umbilicus, and that baby's bloating starts going away. and it gets absorbed, this gel, through our umbilicus, and soon they will have the
They
bowel
pass the
movement.
stool,
वो
yeah.
जो वायु का
Yeah.
गोला.
Mhm.
Similarly, if you get that lot of, gas, and it's just stuck there, it's paining you, spasmodic, you can eat it also and you can apply it also with the same way like in the child, and you will have a relief. Now, shall we start with what all it can do for our beauty? Yeah. So you just cut this and you can apply it on your skin like that, just like that. Nothing to do with it, just like that. So if you're having hair loss, anyone having hair loss, then what you do is after you've shampooed your hair, you just rub it. And then you take your final rinse. That's it. Take this leaf to your shower. And that's it. Okay? That's one thing. If you get mosquito bites, especially if you travel to India with me, they are big ones, then just apply this overnight and they will go away. Do you get puffy eyes if you've stayed up too late? That means you need to become a student here and not stay up late. But you can apply this gel and it will help you. This gel is also the best eye makeup remover. If you don't like oily, if you like the non-oily hair eye makeup remover, then nothing could be better than this because it is a pure skin tonic. Then for dry skin, you take some of this gel, you scrape it out, you mix equal quantity honey, and you make a little pack. And the blotchy, red, rosacea type, the heated skin, dry as well as pitta will gradually reduce. So it's a medicine. This is not just a cosmetic. Anybody has dandruff? Then we have been saying for a long time in Ayurveda that this is very good for dandruff. Well, guess what? Recently a research in Mayo Clinic also said very good for dandruff. Many of the researches in Ayurveda, be it turmeric, be it neem, be it aloe, they are all being now refound in the modern labs. Okay? Then basically they work on blood, liver.
Yes,
Liver.
the magic is that it acts as a locally, means tropically also.
Yes.
And also in a systemic manner.
Systemic manner. Systemic, it impacts the brain of your digestion, the liver. It purifies. So if you have stomach ailments, like you get pain in the stomach, gas in the stomach, okay, hiccups, flatulence, then you have to do something. That I want to teach you. You want to take the gel and you want to add a little bit of rock salt in it, a little bit of black pepper in it, and a little bit of black pepper, salt. Black pepper, rock salt, yeah. And if you want, you can also add some cumin powder to it. And then you take that, you can take it 2-3 times a day, or once a day, or twice a day, and you will find an improvement in it, okay? So, you can also add some lemon to it. Basically, when the Agni is not doing well,
Yes, at that time.
at that time.
Mhm.
Actually, it has two benefits. When your Agni is not doing well, you add some heating ingredients to it, like lemon,
Yes.
rock salt, even black
Black
salt,
pepper.
black pepper,
Black pepper.
some ajwain, some cumin, whatever is hanging around, and you swallow it, and it will give you relief. But when you are having burning ulcer and pitta, then you just swallow it like
Just-
that. Then it will cool you. How good is that? So it is both a stimulant for your digestion as well as a coolant for your digestive system. It is even used in ulcerative colitis and for stomach ulcers and duodenal ulcers. It should be something we must take. You can take it in the form of a gel, or you can just collect all the gel and run it in the mixer and make a juice out of it. Got it? Okay.
It is also mentioned as a Yakrut Uttejak, means it stimulates the
Stimulates.
action of the liver. It regulates the bile which is secreted from your liver, or the other, you can say, digestive juices. It is helpful to regulate those things.
So people who have a lethargic digestion, or maybe even they've had too much alcohol in
Yes,
the
yes,
past,
at that-
or maybe recovering from some strain of hepatitis may also benefit from this. It's just it's a kind of nutritional supplement that grows in your home, basically, you know. So then what about bleeding piles? Wonderful, wonderful to swallow. And I'll tell you one oral remedy. You can even add, actually they won't get Garrick here, no, so I shouldn't talk about it. Just plain, you can apply directly to the rectum area, and even though there is bleeding from inside, it will get absorbed. It is so powerful, it will get absorbed and it will start bringing healing. So take it internally also and apply externally. None of those preparations which are, you know, numbing the system and other things. And you know, ear pain, you should warm this gel. And this is a trick, I must tell you, it's an oral tradition trick. If you are having pain in the right ear, put it in the left. If you are having pain in the left, put it in the right. Instant improvement. Okay? So you can do that also. Then it is a natural antiseptic, antibiotic, antifungal. So therefore, you can do spot treatment, cuts, bruises, boils, burns, heat. You can do that. Like now it has gone in my eye, but I'm not running to wash it necessarily. It's okay. So it's like a soothing balm. In this country, modern doctors have now started recommending it after chickenpox flare-up. And this is a recent thing. But in Ayurveda tradition, it has been used for a long time. In fact, if we take this internally, or especially during Pitta season of this fall, we follow all the food recommendations. Then we just take a teaspoon to a tablespoon of that, depending on your body type, how large, how big you are. Based upon that, you will not have a flare-up. That is our preference, rather than have the flare-up and then apply it. So this is where we prefer. So you can, when you are having acne or breakout, you can even add a little turmeric to the gel and then apply it, and it will have such a good, you know, effect. Then another thing, it is useful for hormones.
Yes.
You want to talk about it, the periods.
Yeah, it is very much useful to regulate the menstrual period. So if there is some, you can say, scanty flow or overflow.
Overflow.
On both the things it is useful, along with some dysmenorrhea, at that time it is also useful. And one important thing I want to mention here, that nowadays the psoriasis, this particular condition is it comes for many peoples. They are coming with this particular problem of psoriasis. So this particular herb, when it is used as a locally or internally, so it gives a tremendous effects.
And I wanted to say, Dr. Yeola, that we use it in psoriasis, but even now in Western medicine there is some discussion, if not in medicine, but in the Western nutritional circles, there is a discussion that this should be applied externally for psoriasis. Okay? And it's a beauty tonic for women, like he mentioned. Not only for dysmenorrhea, but also for menorrhea. When there is excessive bleeding, irregular bleeding, or no bleeding. So it's a regulator. So 1/3 cup of its juice in the morning or a tablespoon in the morning doesn't hurt. Now it's bittersweet, so it's not the kind of bitter you cannot tolerate, but it is definitely bitter. So for this season, if you wanted to add some pomegranate juice, you add it to some pomegranate juice, and you even add some rock sugar, like some natural cane sugar if you wanted, then it becomes a nice drink to have first thing in the morning. So then I want to tell you another secret recipe. So often the grit would be thicker, like they can get larger, you know that, right? The leaves. This is also good enough. So you cut it, and then on a griddle, on a तवे को क्या बोलते हैं?
Pan,
on a pan.
hot pan.
Hot pan. Sorry, we are from India and we are speaking in your language. So you just heat it, okay? You heat it from the other side, on the leaf side. Just heat it. And then you know how when women are breastfeeding, they sometimes get knots? Or sometimes when we are exercising and we stop exercising, we get muscle knots. And they're so painful. They are anti-inflammatory. Or they open knots. So just give a nice fermentation, especially to the breast area. This gel, due to the heat, will enter the breast tissue, and because of being bitter, it will dissolve that knot. What is this? A miracle? God's miracle. You don't have to buy the old tamas version in the bottle. You definitely don't have to buy the colored and bad sugar added versions. Just in fall you can add natural sugar because you are actually making it more healthy, because we've already mentioned. But this is a plant that everybody should have. It's great for women, but it's also great for men. And I have only chosen to share with you maybe half of its benefits. Questions?
I just have two short stories to tell about how amazing aloe is. So one, I fell 6 months ago and hit my head on the corner of a bench and cut my eye open, and I had to go to the ER and get stitches and the whole thing. And came to class and Shunya just said, just keep putting aloe on it, keep putting aloe on it. And I did religiously. I had an aloe plant, and within 3 months, I mean, you can't even see, there's no scar at all.
Cell regeneration.
Yeah. And then the other thing is I nanny 2 days a week for a little boy, and he had hives all over his face, and his parents I came to work and they said, we can't get rid of these hives. He's had them for 4 days. And I said, well, do you have an aloe plant? And so she went out and bought one, and I put it on his hives, and within an hour they were gone.
Because hive is Pitta Kapha
Yes,
management.
Pitta Kapha.
And yes, you can use them for urticaria, hives, itchy, rashy skin.
It does the purgation also. And purgation is the best treatment which is mentioned in the text.
And I'm so happy to be teaching you about aloe vera, because my Baba, my teacher, would teach all the villagers about aloe vera. Because when the Britishers came to India, the Indians forgot their own indigenous knowledge, and they were deprived of their education, and they were left, wanting, wasting, and poor, and really, really sick, and there were multiple droughts and whatnot. So my Baba, my teacher, started teaching them about various herbs that they could grow at home and use, and make medicinal recipes. One of them also is how to use rose. We're going to make a rose sharbat, a drink, as well as a jam. And I also want to tell you that I was missing jasmine today, but one of my potential students walked in with jasmine in her purse and in her hat. So this jasmine, right, it grows everywhere. It's also tikta and sheet. It's sweet and bitter. So if you dry them and make a little tea out of them, that's good. Even if you smell them, they will balance pitta. And they are white, so they enhance sattva in your mind. Okay? And so jasmine is very much a flower of this season. And even our shastras say that we should grow these white jasmine flowers all around us this season. So thank you, jasmine.
It is mentioned in Ayurveda as well as in Chinese medicine also. In the Chinese restaurant, if you go, they give the jasmine tea.
Yeah. And it is a 3 dosha balancing actually, this jasmine. So you can drink your jasmine tea. So I never miss my jasmine tea at the Chinese restaurants. Yes.
For acne, I know you said to mix turmeric with the aloe gel. Is it turmeric powder, or do you get the fresh
turmeric powder would be good enough. Yeah. But for acne, because it's blood based, there's toxicity, so it's a good idea to definitely also take it internally.
Also take internally. Okay. Because this particular herb, as I mentioned, it acts as a locally also and as an internal medicine also.
Blood purifier, cleanser.
If the doshas are aggravated, more condition, if the acne is more, you can say flared up, at that time you have it is advocated that you have to take internally also.
For a small mosquito bite, you can just put external. But if acne is a condition, then you should take it for 3 to 6 months or
as a blood
lifelong.
purifier.
So you know how you can buy the turmeric root from grocery stores, things like that? Is there
Yes.
ever a time when you need that for Ayurvedic
Yeah,
medicines?
we have used that and in our toothbrush, in our toothpaste powder here.
Sometimes.
You can use it in cooking, we use it to make oils. But it's so quick to take the turmeric powder, add to the gel and apply it.
Thank you.
Any last question? Yes?
I know a lot of people, myself included, who have a tight iliotibius. And I bought a roller, and it does help you. It has surface on it, okay? You're saying no, or maybe you're
No,
not.
I'm being an Indian and
Okay.
just shaking my head.
With the heated, you just mentioned the aloe vera, to heat the green side, the leaf side, and then apply that. Is that what you're talking about?
It's definitely a muscle relaxant, you can say
Okay.
that. So you will apply it where it needs to be. Yeah.
It relieves the pain also.
Analgesic,
Anti-inflammatory
yeah.
action is there.
Yeah.
You talked about doing the fomentation of the aloe, heating it up, and then applying it to the skin on the breast where there are knots. Are you meaning like cysts, or just lumpy tissue? Just
Sometimes, if the feeding is not proper, at that time there are chances of that the mammary glands, they are swollen. So at that time you can use this.
so it's only for lactation.
If there are cysts, it has to be taken internally. Because it is a it won't hurt outside, but it is internal work, systemic work that needs to balance Pitta and Kapha and Vata, which this can do. I hope you have been enjoying this knowledge.